Welcome, boys and girls. Welcome, parents. This is the last section of our review for test on Unit 7. So this is the last of the Unit 7 test review, 9 through 15. Let's look at number 9. Jordan compares 1/2 to other fractions. So he's comparing 1/2 to all these other fractions. So we mark true or false for each statement. Is 1/2 equal to 2/4? Here's 1/2 and here's 2/4. We could see that, yes, they're equivalent. They're the same size. That's true. How about 1/2 to 1/3? You could see that 1/2 is larger than 1/3, so that is true. How about 1/2 and 2/2? Well, 2/2 is 1 whole, so 1/2 is smaller than 1 whole. 2/2 is greater than 1/2. You could see 2/2 is greater than 1/2, so that's true. And then is 1/2 equal to 1/4? No. Here's 1/4 and here's 1/2. It takes 2/4 to equal 1/2. So 1/4 cannot equal 1/2. So that's false. All right, so 3/3 equals 1. Anytime you have a number over itself, all of these equal 1. 1/2 is the same as 4/8. To convert it to eighths, you multiply it by 2 over 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. 1 times 2 equals 2. So 1/2 equals 2/4. To convert it to eighths, you multiply it by 4 to equal eighths. 2 times 4 is 8. You have to do the same thing on top. 1 times 4 is 4. So 4/8 equals 1/2. 6/8 equals 3/4. How do you know? Well, if you convert 4 into an eighth, now you can compare. So let's change 3/4 into something eighths. How do you do that? Well, how do you get from 4 to an 8? Well, you multiply it by 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Then you have to do the same thing on top. 3 times 2 is 6. So you can see that these two equal each other. So you make that connection. 4 ones is always 4. 1/3, again, let's make this into a 9. How do you make the 3 into a 9? Multiply it by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 3 is 3. So you could see 1/3 is the same as 3 3s. So you connect it with that. All right, Kaylee walked 7/6 of a mile on Monday and then 5/6 of a mile on Tuesday. Write a comparison. So let's write a comparison here. On which day does she walk farther? So which one's farther? This is greater than 1. Because if the numerator is greater than the denominator, then it's greater than 1. This time the numerator is smaller than the denominator, so this is less than 1. If we draw a pie, 5/6, that's 3, 4, 5. 5/6 you could see is missing 1, so it's less than 1. And this is like 6/6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 7/6. So you can see it's 1 plus another 6. So you could see this is missing 1 and this has an extra 1. So this is greater. So on which day does she walk farther? Well, Monday has 7/6, so on Monday she walks farther. All right, now the last two. Carlton has 4 box of pencils. Beth has 7/8 pencils, and then 3/4 box of pencils. Now, who has the least? Which one's the smallest? Well, we could say that this is not the smallest because this is same as 1 whole. So in order to compare these two, well, the first thing we could do is just cross multiply. 7 times 4 is 28. 3 times 8 is 24. 28 is greater than 24, so 7/8 is greater than 3/4. So who has the 7/8? Beth. But they're asking for the least, which is Marianne. So Marianne has the least. And the other way to do it is to change which one. If we compare, you have to change this into an eighth. How do you do that? Multiply by 2/2. So 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 2 is 6. So you could see that 7/6 is greater than 6/8. So this is the least because it equals 3/4. So these two are the least, and they're the same on the number line. So that's why Marianne, she has the least number of pencils. What strategy did you use? You could say I cross multiplied and 28 is greater than 24. I forgot to say that I knew I eliminated 4 4s because that's the greatest. And then between these two, I cross multiplied and this one was greater, so I put this one as being the least. Or you could also say I changed 3/4 to 6/8, and I could see that 7/8 is greater than 6/8, and then you would write that here. Choose the fraction to make the statement true. All right, you have to read this carefully. 1/6 would be between which of these? And 1/7 on a number line. So let's make a number line real quick. And let's start with the 1/5. 1/5 would be here, maybe. 1/6 would be here. 2/6 would be here. And then 1/7 would be here. And then 1/8 would be here. So 1/6 would be between this number, because they give this to you, and which other, here's 1/6. It's between 1/7 and which other number? Well, it's between 1/5 and 1/7. Okay? You could also see that on the fraction bars that I give the kids. You could see 1/6 is between, well, there's no 7th. So never mind. There's no 7th on there. All right, Madeline wants to write a fraction that's greater than 1/4. So which one is greater than 1/4? 4 1s? Yes, because 4 1s is the same as 4. So 4 whole pies is always greater than just a 1/4 of a pie. So 4 1s is greater, yes. Is 2/4 greater than 1/4? Yes. Obviously, it's twice as much. So here's 2/4 is obviously greater than just 1/4. And then is 1/8 greater than 1/4? No. It's half of 1/4 because 2/8 equals 1/4. And then 8/4 is the same as 2. Is 2 greater than 1/4? Yes. So anyway, is 1/8 greater than 1/4? No. All right. Thank you.